Gaming with Boomers. Yow.
You should be good.
Okay, welcome back to Gaming with Boomers, a very special Gaming with Boomers, the Necrophonic session. You only see the two of us here, Kenny Boomer and Lisa Boomer, mom and dad, because Michael refuses to be here, and Austin's out of town but refuses to be here for this.
Chickens.
They're a little, which is interesting because we have done this app before. Necrophonic is an app, and where you speak to spirits, supposedly, whether you believe in this or not. And we have done this. I got the app a couple years ago, and we played with it, and the boys were fine. Since then, not so much. So we're going to have a little session of Necrophonic and see if we can't get anyone to speak to us. So we are all set up for our Halloween session here. I have my Halloween t-shirt on. Ken has his Snoopy and Woodstock.
Mummies.
Yep. And our Welcome Halloween, our Halloween tart warmer, Ken's phone going blah, blah, blah. Pumpkin spice candle wax. We have our two Halloween gnomes. We have our little stand for my phone, which is a Hocus Pocus cup. And my phone just shut off. And our Halloween tree, which is covered in Nightmare Before Christmas and other little spooky things. So let's start. Let me bring my phone back up because it decided, and bring up the app.
You didn't want to do this either.
And we'll start. I have it on echo so we can hear more than once if anything is said. Mostly it's nonsense. I'm gonna stop this just real quick. I've been doing this sort of thing since I was 15, so I'm comfortable with it. A lot of people think it's hokum and garbage and baloney. A lot of people believe in it. But whether you believe in it or not, the one thing I do recommend is that you keep in mind what you're doing. I think everybody, even scientists, agree that everything on the planet is made of energy, and therefore you're messing with energy no matter what. And whether you're going to bring something ugly to yourself, or you believe that or you don't, best to just kind of maybe say a little prayer or a little, just kind of put a little rain jacket on for protection from some of the less fun energy that can float around on this planet. And again, whether you believe it or not, just a nice thing to do. And also keep in mind not to invite anything nasty in. Don't welcome it. Don't bring out your welcome pumpkin for anything you don't want to stick around, okay? So that's basically what I've learned is be careful what you ask for, be careful who you talk to, and if you ever feel a little weird about it, shut her down, okay? So we are protected in our white light of yesness, and with our past people who love us very much watch over us. So now we shall start. And there we go. So I guess our first question, is there anyone here who would like to speak to us?
And somebody by the name of Bob with us?
Who's Abe? Who's Bob?
Oh, it sounds like a Bob. That sounds like a Hayden.
Jack. I just heard Jack. Can you tell us your name?
Sound like a Dave.
I heard Dave. Is your name Dave? Is there more than one person here? Apparently it's a European emergency vehicle. Beep bop, beep bop. I'm not hearing a whole lot of anything that sounds like anything yet.
Like heard names, maybe we just have to ask more questions. Question off.
I know, all of a sudden
Dry
a blank as opposed to draw one.
Dave, if that's you, do you know you're dead?
Where did you live?
That sounded like something, but I couldn't make it out.
Where did you live, Dave? Doctor, it sounds like.
Sounds like annoyed.
So far, Dave, all we're hearing is nonsense. What? What? Is there anyone besides Dave here?
Me?
Me, that's what I said.
Who is me?
Who said me?
It's like you talk over each other.
Yeah. Well, I do have it on echo so we can hear more than once if something comes through.
Oh, but there's different tones.
Let me turn it off of echo. See if that's better. Who said me? Okay, say anything that means anything. How many people or spirits are here? Two. Dave and me.
It was clear.
Dave and me, two.
Again, who is me?
Ken. Well, you said it was me. That makes sense. Are you related to either of us? I'm going to take that as a no.
I mean, I do know a Dave that passed from throat cancer or stomach cancer. So
who is Dave that passed that you knew?
Don't
use a last name, but as somebody you worked with or a relative? Really? Is this the Dave that Ken worked with? If this is the Dave that Ken worked with who died of throat cancer, where did you work? Where did you work?
What?
Maybe this is not that Dave.
No, I don't know. They just only Dave I can think of.
Stop the screen. Is using Necrophonic a good idea? That's all I can.
Yeah, I know. Can you answer Lisa's question? Is doing the Necrophonic app a good thing? Do you want to communicate? You love all the sounds.
Yeah. It's like ghost farts.
What?
Where is Ken from? Where is Ken from? Where did Ken grow up? Where did I grow up? Where did Lisa grow up? So far, not impressed with any of you. Itchy nose.
Is there anyone who wants to communicate with us?
I'm going to stop this long enough just to tell a little bit of a Halloween ghost story. We used to live at Beale Air Force Base, California, in base housing. And our base house was haunted. There were stories all over Beale about base housing being haunted. I had a neighbor who, across the street, whose husband worked nights. He was an aircraft mechanic. And he would come home at about 2 a.m. for lunch. And she would be asleep and she'd hear him come in. Well, she heard him come in. She heard his combat boots on the tile floor and everything. And she's, Eddie, is that you? And she got up and, she heard him walking all over the house. She got up and there was no one there. Another time they went out to dinner. There were 3 of them, my friend, her husband, and their little boy. They went out to dinner and they came back, and a knickknack that had been on like their entertainment center was in the hallway going to the bedrooms, right in the middle of the floor, and no one had gotten into their house. Their TV would turn on and off and things like that. That's their story. Our story is that in our house, every morning at exactly 3:10 a.m., our phone would ring. And it would ring one time, and it was a landline, and it had caller ID, and it would never show up as anything. But it was exactly at the same time at 3:10 a.m. There was nothing going on with the phone, and this went on for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, because you could, at the time, you could do *69 and it would tell
and
you
find out who called you.
The last phone number, and nothing.
Nothing would come up. And also, I had fallen asleep on the couch one night, and it was about 3 a.m, and we had a cat, Taz, and I was woken up from him jumping from the top of the couch onto my hip and down on the floor and to under the couch. That was my impression. It was hard. It like, boom, knocked the wind out of me. And I got up and I'm like, Taz. And I looked and I realized there's no way that he could have run under the couch because there's not enough room for him to use a chubby cat. No room for him to run under the couch. And so I thought, oh, well, he must not have run under the couch. The bedroom doors were all closed. Ken was asleep in the bedroom. I had fallen asleep on the couch. The boys were in their room with the door closed. I looked in every other, and it's a little tiny house, 900 square feet. The only other room he could have gotten into is the kitchen, it's open, and then the bathroom. He wasn't anywhere. So I looked in the bedroom with Ken. He was asleep on the bed with Ken. So the cat could not have jumped on me and woken me up, but it did. I was only sort of half dozing, so it wasn't like I was in a deep sleep. I felt that cat jump on me, jump down, and run. And he was sound asleep in the other room. And then the other thing that happened is we had our Christmas tree up, and Ken would be able to come across base home for lunch. And we're sitting talking, and Austin loved Thomas the Tank Engine. So we had a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine ornaments. And one of them was where if you pushed the little smokestack, it would go doot-doot. And we're sitting there talking, and I think we were talking about your family, maybe, or what, I don't remember, maybe not. And it went toot-toot on the tree. Excuse me, I hiccuped when I said that. And we didn't think anything of it, and it did it again. And we thought, well, maybe, it's kind of wiggling a little on the tree from vibration or whatever, and maybe the ornament the hook bumped it or something. We're making up all these reasons of how it could happen, but you really had to push the little button down. So we took it off the tree and put it on the table and went back and sat in the living room, and we're talking, we hear toot toot. So there was that. And then Ken was deployed, to the Middle East or somewhere. Was it to Cyprus when you came back? And his dad had passed, sadly, at the relatively young age. It was 70 or 71. It was she had health issues, but it was still a bit of a shock. And Ken had been deployed for several months, not long after that. And we went to pick him up from the airport, and I'm driving home, and Ken's in the passenger seat, and the boys are in the back. And all of a sudden, our electronic locks are going, chick, 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 chick. They're locking and unlocking over and over again. And we've just been talking about him or something.
Also did help her driving by a cemetery.
Yeah, we're driving by some little tiny cemetery in the middle of nowhere in Northern California. And we'd been talking about him, and something about I hope he's proud or so. Anyway, and all of a sudden the locks went ching, 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 ching. And they never did it before or after that.
Exactly.
That was the only time.
I'll say that.
Yep. So we took that as Gus was Ken's dad was welcoming him home and glad he was safe and knowing that we were talking about him and missing him. So we've had a few weird things happen here in this house too. We now live in Georgia after Ken retired from the military after 21 years. Mm-hmm. And we live in Middle Georgia in Macon, and it's a new house. So there was nobody that lived in this house prior to this, but it is a piece of land that is kind of in the middle of nowhere. In fact, less than a mile from here, there was a mass murder of an entire family in the 1800s, which we're going to do a Halloween episode about, or sooner if this one ends up on Halloween. So we shall restart now. Woo. Are there spirits here from this area in Macon? Out. See, I'm a Yankee. That's the other thing. I am not from the South. I'm from Minnesota. Ken is from Texas, so he's not a Yankee. And everybody's polite here, but they very definitely let me know I'm a Yankee. Ken's family lets me know I'm the Yankee in the family. So I will ask a question related to that. Are you upset that I'm a Yankee living in this house? What? Are you upset that I'm a Yankee living on this land? It's actually used. Did it just say yes? I don't know. Well, sort of welcome back. The outro that Ken and I recorded went bye-bye. The camera shut off. So I am recording a solo outro. Poor Ken. He's at work. It's the next day. So there's also, when I was telling you our Halloween stories, well, scary stories of our haunted house back in Beale Air Force Base, I missed a couple things. One, the base was host to World War II German POWs, and there was a POW camp in what was then Camp Beale, Army camp, during World War II. And the rumor is that is one reason why Beale Air Force Base housing and the base is haunted, because there are ghosts of German soldiers there who perished in the prisoner of war camp. And the other story that I forgot to tell is that when Austin was little, he was a toddler, he would wake up screaming in the middle of the night. And we're not talking like, kids wake up and they're like, and snivelly and stuff like that. He would wake up and scream bloody murder, like someone had grabbed him or scared the living dickens out of him. And Michael and Austin shared a room. Our house was tiny. And when I would go in there, because he's screaming bloody murder, it was always the middle of the night around 3 a.m., Michael would be sound asleep through all the screaming and on his bunk bed, and Austin would be in his little car bed, just absolutely terrified. Absolutely terrified. So this went on for a few weeks, and we just couldn't figure out anything that was causing this. And so finally, I'd about had it. So I sent Ken and the boys into town off base, and I went into their room and did a mother bear on them. And I said, look, whatever's in here scaring my kids, I have had enough of this. And you'd best leave, because otherwise I'm going to put the smackdown on you, you know, or words to that effect. And interestingly enough, it stopped. Right after that, there was never another episode of Austin waking up in the middle of the night with night terrors. So, you know, make that what you will, but we felt that there had been whatever was goofing with us with the other ways probably was, we don't think it was any spirit that wanted to hurt the boys, but we don't know. So anyway, that was the other thing that I forgot to relate during our spooky stories. So thank you for joining us. Please like, comment, and in your comments, let us know if you heard anything we missed, because we're old and hard of hearing, for one. And two, lots of times people hear things that others don't hear during these kinds of videos. So please do listen to it carefully and tell us if you hear anything that we missed. We love you all very much. Thank you for being part of our dysfunctional Halloween family. We love you. Bye.